Today, we're diving deep into the invisible forces that are running in the background of your mind, the hidden code that shapes how you think, feel, and act every single day. So, let me just start with a big question. Are you really in control of your thoughts? Or do they kind of have a life of their own? If you're being honest, it probably feels like your mind is just running on autopilot sometimes, right? Driven by these forces we don't totally understand. Well, psychology has a fascinating way of looking at this. The idea is that our minds operate on these hidden scripts. Think of them like pre-written programs that basically determine our default reactions, our biggest struggles, and yeah, even our most unique strengths. So, today we're going to decode some of that programming. Okay, part one. Let's start with the foundational code, your cognitive wiring. You can think of this as your mind's default operating system. You know, the core program that it came with right out of the box. So if you've got a high IQ operating system, it's incredibly powerful, for sure, but it often comes with a few common bugs. For one, your mind is basically built for constant processing, so it almost never slows down. This also means you get bored with simple stuff way faster than other people. It can make you feel kind of isolated, even when you're in a crowd. And oh yeah, the big one, struggling with perfectionism, that analysis paralysis, where you overthink things so much you end up doing nothing. And of course, you're probably always questioning rules that everyone else just seems to accept. But now, let's look at a different, maybe even rarer operating system, the socially intelligent mind. This OS has some incredible features built right in. It notices all the tiny micro-reactions that most people miss completely. It can adapt its personality to fit any situation without losing its core self. This mind knows exactly how to disagree with someone without it turning into a fight. And, this is crucial, it understands what not to say. It observes way, way more than it speaks. So you see, these are two very different but equally powerful ways of processing the world. The analytical mind is always thinking in probabilities, seeing hidden patterns, which can actually feel pretty heavy and disconnecting sometimes. The social mind, on the other hand, reads between the lines. It senses intent, it gets power dynamics, and it knows exactly when to give someone emotional space. Look, neither one is better. They just run on totally different code. But here's the thing. That operation system? That's just the foundation. Life itself, especially our hardest moments, come along and installs powerful new subroutines that can fundamentally change how we operate. I love this quote. Pain teaches what comfort hides. Think about it. Comfort keeps us safe. Yeah, but it's our struggles, the rejections, the failures, the heartbreaks, that actually force our internal software to get a serious upgrade. And there's actually a formal name for this whole process. It's called post-traumatic growth. It's this incredible psychological phenomenon where facing deep adversity doesn't just bring you back to normal, it actually leads to positive changes. You become stronger because of what you went through, not in spite of it. This kind of growth installs some really rare strengths. You develop something called stress inoculation, that ability to stay weirdly calm in a crisis because, hey, you've survived worse. Your radar for reading people's true intentions becomes razor sharp. You stop needing other people's approval. And maybe the most important one of all, you learn to feel your emotions really deeply without letting them take the wheel. All right, next up are the scripts you're running every single day. Our daily habits, they're basically the code we execute over and over and over, and they're either reinforcing our old programming or they're installing a brand new one. So you have to ask yourself, which code are you running? Are you running those self-sabotaging scripts? Reacting on impulse, avoiding challenges, blaming other people? Or are you running IQ-boosting scripts? Things that create space for growth, like pausing before you react, deliberately reading difficult stuff just to stretch your mind, or actually reviewing your mistakes to learn from them. If you want to install some new positive code, here are 5 really cool Japanese habits to think about. First, Kaizen. Just focus on making tiny 1% improvements every day. Second, Danshari. Declutter your physical space to help declutter your mind. Third, Harahachibu. Eat until you're about 80% full to improve that mind-body connection. Fourth, observe before acting. This strengthens your self-control. And finally, forest bathing. Just spending time in nature to completely reset your nervous system. So we've looked at our operating system. We've looked at those life-installed subroutines and our daily scripts. Now for the fun part. Let's put it all together and see how you can actually become the programmer of your own mind. The master key for this is a skill called metacognition. It sounds fancy, but it's a really simple, profound idea. It's thinking about your thinking. It's the ability to just step back and observe your own thoughts and ask, is this thought actually true, or is this just how I feel right now? Without this skill, you're basically just a character running a pre-written script. But with it, you become the writer. So let's apply this. We can rewrite a really common script, like people-pleasing. Here's how. Step 1, calmly state your decision. Step 2, and this is the big one, stop over-explaining. When you over-explain, you're signaling that your choice is up for debate. And finally, step 3, if they push back, don't argue, just adjust their access to your time and energy. You see? You're literally rewriting the code from my worth depends on your approval to my choices are mine and they're final.
And hey, remember that analysis paralysis bug we talked about earlier? Well, here's the software patch for it. This one quote, "Done will always beat perfect." It's the ultimate antidote. The smartest people get stuck because they can imagine this perfect outcome, and anything less feels like a failure. But you know what? Progress only comes from actually doing things, not from dreaming of perfection.
Your intelligence, your experiences, your knowledge, all of that is just potential energy. It means absolutely nothing until you execute. The people who really succeed aren't always the most gifted. They're the ones who consistently turn that potential into action. So at the end of the day, your mind is always going to run on scripts. They can be the ones written by your biology or your past or by other people, or they can be the ones that you choose to write for yourself, starting right now. So the real question is, who's holding the pen?